I'm Sylvia. Lying in this hospital bed, the weight of betrayal presses down on me like a suffocating blanket. The beeping of the monitors is a constant reminder of the fragility of my life and the darkness that lurks just outside my door. I remember the day I woke up from the coma. A small face hovered above me, wide-eyed and trembling. It was Emily, a little girl who had become my unexpected guardian during my long slumber. Her words, "You're awake. You're really awake," were like a lifeline in the sea of confusion. But then, the truth came crashing down. Emily leaned in, her voice shrinking with fear. "I heard your husband. He came in, and he thought you were alone. He said he wished you would die." I felt my heart lurch, a cold shock running down my spine. The images that had haunted my dreams were not hallucinations. They were real. My husband, Ryan, had become a stranger to me. I remember the first time I met him. It was at a high-profile business event in New York City. I was the CEO of a successful architecture firm, a company I had built from the ground up with my father's small inheritance. Ryan was a junior project manager, ambitious but overshadowed by the big names in the industry. I was immediately drawn to his charm and eagerness. He listened intently as I talked about my projects, and I was flattered by his attention. We started dating, and within a year, we were married. I thought I had found my partner, someone to share my life and success with. I introduced Ryan to my professional circle, encouraged him to take on more challenging projects, and even let him move into my luxurious penthouse in Manhattan. At first, he was grateful, but as my career soared and his remained stagnant, I could feel the resentment building. He resented my leadership, my ability to command a room, and my refusal to hand over control of my company. He started to believe that he was entitled to my wealth and success just because he was my husband. I ended up in a coma after a sudden and mysterious accident. Ryan visited me every day, but I could sense his impatience. The ICU bills were piling up, and he saw them as a drain on his money. Emily, on the other hand, was a ray of light in this dark situation. She was a 9-year-old who had spent most of her life in the hospital due to a chronic illness. She had no stable family, and the hospital had become her home. One day, when the hallway outside my room was quiet, Ryan thought he was alone. He entered my room, his face twisted with irritation. "You're a damn burden," he hissed. "A month of this, and you just lie here doing nothing." I couldn't move, couldn't speak, but I could hear every word. Unseen beneath the bed, Emily was hiding. She was there to keep me company, as she did every day. Every word Ryan spat out felt like a punch to her heart. She was so terrified that she pressed the record button on her teddy bear, a gift from Dr. Miller, the kind doctor who had been taking care of me. When Ryan left, Emily bolted out of the room and ran to Dr. Miller. "He wants to hurt her," she gasped. "Sylvia's in danger. You have to stop him." Dr. Miller took her seriously. He knew Emily well and had always trusted her. When Dr. Miller came to check on me, he noticed some subtle changes in my vitals. He wondered if Emily's constant whispering and stories had been stimulating something deeper in me. He touched my hand and said, "Sylvia, if you can hear me, you're safe." And, to his surprise, the numbers on the monitors shifted. When I finally woke up, Emily was there to tell me the truth. She played the recording for me, and the venom in Ryan's voice was like a knife in my heart. My parents, who had been by my side throughout my coma, were also there to hear it. My mother, Sarah, covered her mouth in shock, and my father, David, a strong and stoic man, seethed with quiet anger. Dr. Miller wasted no time. He contacted the hospital security and then the police. They lured Ryan back to the hospital under the pretense of a medical emergency. When he arrived, he was met with a confrontation. Dr. Miller showed him the teddy bear with the recording. "We need to talk about what you said in your wife's room yesterday." "It was recorded," he said calmly. Ryan's face paled. He tried to make excuses, but the evidence was clear. The police officers arrested him for attempted harm, abuse of a vulnerable adult, and endangerment within a medical facility. As he was led away in handcuffs, I felt a strange mix of relief and heartbreak. The man I had loved had turned into a monster. My recovery was slow, but with Emily by my side, I found the strength to heal. She visited me every day, bringing me hand-drawn pictures and stories.
Dr.
Miller was also a constant support, not just as my doctor, but as a friend. One day, as I watched Emily coloring beside me, I realized that she needed a stable home. I asked Dr. Miller about her situation, and he told me that she had no adoptive family. That night, I made a decision. I wanted to adopt her.
Dr.
Miller was supportive. I think she would thrive with you, he said. The adoption process was long and meticulous, but I was determined. Over the next year, our lives became intertwined. Emily and I developed a deep mother-daughter bond. And as time passed, my relationship with Dr. Miller grew into something more. A year later, we got married in a small ceremony overlooking Central Park. 2 years after that, we welcomed a son, Max. Our family was unconventional, built from pain, trust, and second chances. In Emily's new bedroom, on a neatly made bed covered in the quilts I had chosen with care, sits the old teddy bear. Its worn fur and tiny recorder are a silent reminder of the moment a child's courage changed everything and created a family none of us had ever expected.